There. All right.
Third
Hey,
time
that
is
won't talk perfect.
action.
Third time, all right. Welcome to Metal Bends Chronicles. With me today, I have Raymond and Barry from Goatamentise. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining and doing this interview. I really appreciate it. All right, to begin things, let's
Thanks
talk
for coming.
about the beginning, how Goatamentise formed, what bands you were influenced by, and basically the name Goatamentise, what it means.
So, all right. So, 1993, Barry wanted to start a band that was influenced by death metal and hardcore. And so, a friend of his told him about a drummer, Frankie Lasco. He was 13 at the time. He went, he met up with him, and he joined. So from there, he got Rendon on guitar, and then Martin on vocals. But as far as the name, it was an accident because he had a friend who kept saying "Goat of Mendes," and it was he said it like as one word, so it sounded like Goatamentise, Goatamentise. So he basically used it and created a word that really it doesn't mean anything. Technically speaking, it doesn't mean anything. It's a word that he basically made up.
It doesn't exist, but we do.
There you go. Hey man,
Yeah.
sometimes the best names come out of just coming up with your own phrase, or your own catchphrase,
Yeah,
Really cool.
it's a good thing, especially the way, I spelled it out. It was just basically my own way of spelling it. Goatament. I try to make it as the way it sounded. So, but then when I found out what it really was, which was the Goat of Mendes, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I think I spoke to the guys about it, and I said, "Yo, sure." And they were like, "Nah, leave it alone. That's it. Nobody's got that. Leave it alone. Leave it alone." And we left it, and we just ran with it. Might as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, okay, so tell me about Now I'll be honest. Before I knew you guys, what I thought of deathcore was bands like Suicide Silence and the more bands like that. I didn't realize deathcore was even around back in the '90s, or maybe in its early formation. So tell me how the deathcore thing came about.
Well, when I did, like I said, when I did start the band, that was my main focus, was to create that. I wanted to make that genre because I love both. I was big into death metal, I was big into hardcore, so I wanted to try to mix that in there. Turns out that there was actually some bands already doing that style of music even before we started. There was a band called Confusion. You got All Out War, Dark Side, New York City. Those bands were out before us. They started like as early as '91. So we when we came out in '93. So we were just part. Plus, I think there was like two other bands in Jersey that labeled themselves deathcore, but they did. I guess they must have been one of those bands that maybe hung around for a little bit and then they disappeared, because I didn't even know that those bands existed. Somebody mentioned it to me one time. I was like, oh shit, look at that! They had a band in Jersey. But we were always, when we were doing our shows and Ramon would do the flyers, we made it our business that we put Goatamentise New York Deathcore on it. So we were already putting it on the flyers, and all those flyers are all predated. So to go in here, people talk about, the Suicide Silence, and those bands that they started in 2002 in Southern California. And I have to sometimes go and break their hearts and tell them, no, man, you got to do your research, And some people then, you have some people who do the research, then they realize it, and then they go, okay, well, to be fair, and and I say it, I could agree with the whole be fair part, is that Suicide Silence and Despised Icons and those bands, they set their own standard for what that deathcore is. Because to me, what we were doing in the '90s was basically, when you hear the music, it has death metal elements with hardcore influence in it, and it meshes. What deathcore was doing, they were basically taking metalcore, which was basically some mix of thrash and hardcore mixed, and they were taking it and making it extreme. So that's where it was basically coming from metalcore, where they were trying to make it a little bit more extreme. So it wasn't from actual hardcore. I know it's everything with core. That's why I try to tell people, core. When you hear core, grindcore, hard, deathcore, metalcore, whatever core you hear, it still stimulates from hardcore itself, because it has some type of hardcore influence in it. So regardless of how many cores you got, it always starts off with hardcore. So yeah. So you try to explain that, and oh no, this suicide silence. Oh, like okay, yeah, whatever, man. Just look. I don't need to go and argue with people about it. Ramon got flyers. Everything predated. We have videos up the butt. Everything is talked about. So I don't need to explain any of that stuff.
Also, if you listen to the style of New York deathcore in general, it's completely different than like the West Coast deathcore, because West Coast deathcore has got more like kind of, I call it, like in the early 2000s it was math metal, bands like Converge and Botch or stuff like that, and combined with those other elements. But over here it's probably truer to death metal with hardcore breakdowns, more simplistic,
Right.
so that's like the real if you hear it, you're gonna know the difference. You're gonna say, oh, is that deathcore? It sounds more like death metal. But that's that's kind of how I look at the sound.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got when I was listening to the CD. I'm like, yeah, I can definitely hear the death metal, but it has that hardcore breakdowns, like you said, which I think's a really cool mixture.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, that was basically it. That's basically what we wanted. We wanted to make sure to have that. Just to and also it wasn't even just the fact that we wanted to converge the styles and the genres. It was also the fact that the shows that we were playing at, we wanted to make sure that when we go play hardcore show, we could play hardcore shows, we play death metal shows, and when Ramon did shows, because Ramon used to actually book some shows here and there, he was able to get a hardcore band, a death metal band, or whatever, and we had a nice merge of people come together to watch these shows and enjoy them. And so it's like, it was good because, if you could like Goatamentise, you could like Sick of It All, or you could like Immortal Suffering or something like that. And, because we played with similar bands, and it's, it's good because we could fill in those blanks with that and have people enjoy that as well, and open their eyes to, so let's say who's not into death metal, they could listen to a death metal band. Oh, they could appreciate it a little better. Or hardcore, same thing.
Which is a really good thing. It's really good, when you blend two genres together like that to bring people together to check out, the different genres of metal, pertainingly when it comes to death metal and hardcore, like you said, or whatever other style you're playing, be it thrash metal or black metal or whatever. It's always cool to kind of blend things together to bring people together to check out those different genres, like you said.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, because back in them days, I think it was old hardcore shows. I mean, I'm sure you heard stories about in the mid '80s or early '80s where there was like a lot of those punk hardcore shows where people who were into like just metal or thrash, long hair guys, they went into these to CBGBs and they'd probably come out getting their asses whipped. And there was one. I think there was one story where they said Metallica, when they were back in their early days, they went to a CBGB show, and Scott Ian from Anthrax, I think, was the only. Even though he was with Anthrax, I think he had a lot of friends in the hardcore community. They were going to beat up James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett. He had to stop them from getting beat up. So. That was the mentality of a lot of those hardcore kids at the time, that it was like they didn't, if you saw you with long hair, you was the enemy. They didn't care to deal with you or deal with your music. So as times kept going up, and then now, we started blending things. You had a lot of the mix genre. They had thrash and hardcore mixes, like DRIs and stuff like that, which Suicidal Tendency, those bands started like kind of mixing it up a little bit, which started bringing people a lot more together. But with the death metal side, it was like kind of like nobody really wanted to deal with death metal as far as hardcore kids go. And then eventually it started becoming something for them to get into.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a good point. back then, yeah, I've heard stories. I've watched plenty of documentaries about how it was back then. Yeah, I mean, thank goodness it's not like that no more. I mean, because it would definitely be ugly if it was still like that. But yeah, man,
in the 90s, I died down a lot, and there were a lot of like crossover shows. So
right.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
I think we're one of the first ones to do a punk, death metal, hardcore show. I mean, like we did all that, and had a lot of people to go watch it and enjoy it.
When I booked, I didn't necessarily say, oh, it's going to be a hardcore or it's going to be death metal. It just kind of, these were my friends' bands, or I knew them, and I just wanted to put them together and just do a show. So.
Absolutely. All right, I guess my next question would be, let's see. Yeah, talk about the recording of the Suicide demo from, was it 93, 94?
That was 98. No, 97.
1997, okay. Yeah, if you want to talk about those early recordings.
Yeah. So that demo, we did it. Our friend Leon did it for us from this band Rights Reserved, which is another Bronx band. He had like this 8-track Tascam recorder, and so he helped us do it. I remember towards the end he lent it to me so I could go and fix up my tracks here and there a little bit, but it was very simple. It was not high tech or like studio. That's why the quality is the way it is.
Yep.
Which gets me with that quality too, because a lot of people seem to we sat there back in the day when we did the Severed Tide CD and it started we got it better with recordings, but now people love that demo sound, man. What is the big resurgence in that demo sound?
It's a nostalgia thing, I think. I don't know.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, I still love that early raw sound, when it comes to demos. I love that raw, gritty production, I know some people don't like it, but to me,
I don't like it.
I mean, like when I go back and listen to like old Exodus demos or like those early Metallica demos or something like that, I still love it because it shows the raw hunger that the bands back then had. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But even those sounded a little better than what we were able to put together at that time.
Yeah. Still pretty cool though.
Yeah.
So what about the Severed Ties album? If you want to talk about that real quick.
That was when we had Malik, who also sang for Rights Reserved, and Leon's friend, I forgot his name, recorded that for us. He had this digital multi-track recorder, and so we went and we actually recorded it at Leon's basement apartment. And so yeah, he helped us with that, and that's how we got that done. On a little, I think it was DAT, whatever, like a DAT recording, digital DAT thing. It's been so long, but I do remember it was like a step up from just like a regular cassette.
Yeah, it was good. The quality of that came out pretty decent. It still holds up to today, which is great.
Yeah,
I think it sounds real good. I mean, and that was recorded. What year was that recorded again?
That was 98.
1998. Okay, cool. Yeah, it still sounds real good. So then you have the self-titled album that came out in 2006, if I'm correct. Goatamentise.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one was. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that was John Christoph for Raw Recordings up in Mahopac, right? That's where it was.
Barry? Yeah, Mahopac, New York.
And he's got a different place now, but that was where everybody started going to after our friend's band Driven by Hatred went there. So they went there first. They introduced us to him, and his quality was amazing. And literally, I'd say a good dozen bands went up there over the years and did recordings with him. And that's my favorite recording, at least quality wise.
Yeah, it was a fun experience too, man. I mean, and plus, Jean Christophe would actually help us on certain, he felt like maybe something needed for like certain parts of the song, maybe some double vocals. Yo, Barry, we'll do this on this, and then do something different. He would like give us a nice little guidance on certain songs to make it branch out better. There was one which was awesome. My son did the beginning track for Father Hour, and he had my son's voice, and then he lowered his voice to sound like a demonic voice behind his, and my son was doing his part, and my son felt like he messed up, so he goes, "Oh Jesus," and he left it there, and I said, "Yo, he messed up." He said, "No, it's perfect, leave it," and that's how the song kicks right in. It's awesome.
He had his Glenn Benton moment.
Yeah, that shit was great, man. That was great. It was a good time.
Yeah, I was going to say the vocals definitely sounded a lot more aggressive on that album compared to Severed Ties, I think. It just sounds a lot heavier. I mean, to me at least, I think it sounds a bit heavier too in like places. Really good stuff, though.
Yeah, it was well, the way that happened, I told the story that after Malik left the band, we had we had a singer named Rob. Rob filled in after Malik was gone. So when Rob came in, he was our singer, and he was good. I mean, unfortunately, I'm sad that we didn't get no recordings of Rob. I think Rob would have did some good vocals on a recording. There's we got some live shows with him that I have up on YouTube. If anything, you can check. He does a great job. There was nothing wrong with him singing. But what happened was him and Milton at the time, they wrote a song together. And the song was like, they told me about it. I'm looking at them doing it, and it was technical as hell. Now, I was your basic average bass player. I was not technical at all. Nothing. So I looked at that and I said, yo, you know what? You play and I'll sing. I'll sing it. So they wrote the lyrics. I learned the song. We did it. We played a live show with it. And it was like kind of like, we said, yo, might as well just leave it that way, because I think he was more into playing bass than singing anyway. He enjoyed playing bass. So we kind of just flipped. We kind of flipped, and I took over the vocals, and then he was the bass. And then after a little bit, he hung out with us maybe for like 2 or 3 more shows, and he decided to venture off to other things. And that's when we ended up getting Manny, who was our bass player for the recording. And then after Manny, then Louis joined. But that's how that happened as far as me becoming, I was originally playing bass from bass to sing.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess my other question would be, so what are your favorite, so out of your material, what are your favorite songs to play live?
All right, Ramon, I'll let you go with that. I might have mine will definitely be different.
I think for me, I like Lost Souls, Weapons of Mass Distractions, Dead World, and LSD probably.
Yeah, me it was I like Lost Souls. I think it's like my favorite. I don't know why. It's just something about it. I always told Ramon and the guys, I said I would always like to maybe start the show off with Lost Souls because I just felt like it's just a good in your face song, and it just I love that song. Lost Souls, Book of Lies. Let me see. When it comes to like I was thinking about the older ones too. I wouldn't mind. We were discussing doing Embryonic Torture, which is on the Severed Ties CD, and it's also on the demo too, right? It's on the Suicide demo.
Yeah.
So that song, was a fun song. It's a very, like the only damn song that I've ever wrote the whole thing of. So in my credits, I wrote that whole song, but it's a fun song. I think, maybe when I do play it, it just reminisces to, damn, that was my baby. I sat down and did everything for that song, so it just felt good to play, but I think it's a good song to play. And Book of Lies, of course. And LSD. LSD is a good song to play live too. I like LSD.
Really good song.
Yeah, I mean that song. Rob wrote the lyrics for that song, and that's the song basically about, just being obsessed. Nowadays, just being obsessed. You gotta love it. I love that part where it says, chop her head off and keep her skull as an ornament. I love that part.
That's a fucking cool part. I love it too.
I gotta read those lyrics.
Yeah.
Hey man, I love extreme lyrics like that. So
yeah, it's funny because this guy, I know, Shane from Vulgar Display of Gaming. Are you familiar with Shane?
I'm familiar with him. Yeah.
So he just did a review of our CD. So he had the lyrics, and he was basically talking about some parts of the lyrics there, about some of the stuff that he liked, and I think he was mentioning weapons and I think suicide. He said he liked suicide. I was like, oh my god, it was like another one. It's like, anyway, suicide is a song. Now you're saying that songs that we do like, when it comes to songs that we're not really fond of playing, suicide is definitely going to be one of them. I mean, it's not that it's a good song, but it's one of the oldest songs that we played since I started the band. That song was like the third song I wrote when I first started Goatamentise. So it was one of the original songs that pretty much stood the test of time, and it just kept on going. And people like it. I understand why the fans like it when we play it. It's kind of a sing along. Yeah, it's a sing along. People like to do the chorus and stuff. It's kind, but it's one of bands have that thing where there's fans love certain songs that they want to hear. Like Maiden gets tired of playing "Run to the Hills." They've said it, but they play it because fans love it. They want to hear it.
If we're playing in the Bronx, then we're probably going to end up playing that. So,
because
outside of that, I really wouldn't, want to, because we're not necessarily going to have our friends there who love that song, and also No Heaven, No Hell. That's another one.
Yeah,
that's a good one too.
Well, Father Hour is another one of the fan favorites. But I don't mind playing it live. I think that's a good song to play live. It's one of those that the people always, that song inspired. I love that song, and But I guess Suicide would be the one that we could mutually say as a band that we're like, do we really got to play that one? Like, you guys really want that? Like, can you pick something else?
I guess every band. I guess every band would have that moment. If you got a song that's really popular, you would definitely get sick of playing it after a while. I can imagine Iron Maiden. Even Lemmy said he hated playing, Lemmy said he hated playing Ace of Spades, but that's what the crowd wanted, so he played it.
Yeah, and that's understandable. You want to cater to your fans. But then in some retrospect, is like if you have a set list and we got a certain time frame for our set list. It's not like we're one of these high-powered bands on an arena stage where we could just dictate our list and our time because of whatever. Some certain things got to get taken off a list that you're taking off a really good song that we could do live just to play Suicide.
Right. Absolutely.
But it's all right. Fans are fans, man. We gotta love the fans.
That's right, man. It's all about the fans. Those are the people that make you, man.
Yeah, that's it. Look, if they come and they start screaming it or whatever the case may be, is you can't disappoint the fans. Right. It's just sometimes you gotta you have to bend. That's who those are the people who are still pushing you to continue.
Absolutely, and that's one thing I could never stand are bands that don't appreciate their fan base. You know what I mean? It's like if you're the consumer buying the music, I feel like the band should definitely, pay the respects to their fans. You know what I mean?
Well, after a certain point, bands start to look at it as more of a business. So, it's like they see the dollar signs, and then that kind of takes their focus away from whatever's important, which is the fans.
That's very true, man.
Yeah, look at the, we had, oh man, when we stopped playing, when was the last time we played? What was it? 2009, I think, was when last time we played a live show.
No, I think it was 2007. That was it.
Oh my God, look at that, even that 2007, whatever was it? Whatever 2007, around there. So we're talking roughly almost 18 years that we haven't been on a stage. Okay.
Right.
So from that time that we had stopped officially playing, we still had our MySpace at the time or whatever before we even did the Facebook page. There was people messaging us, hey, yo, you guys are really quitting, let us know what, this, that, and the other. And throughout the years, people will still pop up, wondering what's going on. Like, sometimes we'll put out a post, an anniversary post, or whatever. Sometimes just, for shits and giggles and pictures and things like that. And we get the same thing. Yo, reunion. Yo, when you coming back? Yo, I'm willing to, I had a guy in France that used to contact me a lot, and he said he'd be willing to take a holiday up here to come watch the reunion. I'm not sure he's going to do it now. that was so long ago when me and him had that conversation. Who knows if he's seen it or he's going to really do it. But he was a fan. He was a big fan. He loved Goatamentise. I still don't know how he got our stuff out in France at that time, because I think the only place that we were pretty big was in Belgium, and some parts of Japan had our stuff. And then I think where else? Where else? Oh, in Poland. I think Poland. Yeah, we reached out in Poland
and the UK.
Yeah, so it was kind of like in spurts, and then plus we had some of our friends who were able to go out and they did tours in Europe. So a couple of them took our CDs and stuff like that. So they helped. I guess they helped out. Getting our stuff out there. When they went to those tours. It's just to hear now. Now it's like, people from different parts now. Now the music is coming back and people are recognizing it. It's fun. It's a fun experience. I mean, it's a shame it took 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, I guess sometimes it takes longer than what you would expect, I guess. But it's really cool that people are, recognizing your band now after all these years. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think. I'm sorry. You said something, Ramon? I'm sorry.
No, it's a good feeling. There's a lot of positive response so far from the various, like social media and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's a good feeling.
Which is a great thing.
Yeah, and to the likes of like you, Ben, you and other YouTubers in the YouTube community, that we were able to get the CDs out, or people who've heard our stuff, or maybe through my channel, and they love it, and that helped out too, because they spread the word. So then we start getting messages. Yeah, we heard about your band from More Than Red, and this, that, and the other, and it's cool. Now, Vincent Crowley's helped. He's been pushing our stuff too, which has been awesome.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, it's been who'd have thought, in our wildest dreams, I don't think me and Ramon would have thought that somebody like Vincent Crowley from Asheron would be like, hey man, we'll love your band, and it's just awesome. It's just an awesome feeling. It's just good to see everybody getting that chance to enjoy our music. So it gives us that little driving force now. So we want to try to write some new music, maybe do another recording. Try to get that going, and hopefully we get that done.
And that's my next question. Yeah, if there's going to be another Goatamentise album in the future.
That's the plan.
Yeah,
that's the plan. We have some music. We just need to start working on it, and probably I think we'll probably begin summertime, maybe. That's what we're looking at, and so we're looking forward to that.
Yeah. But it just is a fresh look on things. It's like now, since the people are really gravitating towards our music, we get some new stuff in there. And I want to also give thanks to this guy from Def Farm, Jason from Def Farm, for actually putting our stuff out, because just the fact that he even contacted me and came up with the idea about, hey, you want to get your stuff out there, whatever. And I'm like, okay, and he told me how he wanted to do it. And it was just awesome. And they put in, they spent the money and got the things done for us. And I, truly appreciate it. They're supposed to be, Ramon, we're supposed to be getting the demos out soon, right?
Yeah. Aren't you supposed to be getting them though? Right?
Yeah. But they're out already. Actually, they're out.
Oh,
Def Farm has them out already.
there's a few left on Death Farm Records. It's like 50 worldwide, so they're almost done. Yeah, so
Yeah, that first demo that we didn't get a chance to put on the CD, they re-released the demo with cassette tape and everything. 50 of them were made.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we're supposed to get some. So we're gonna see. Yeah, we're gonna see how many we get, and what will be available through us. We'll let you guys know.
Absolutely, man. I'm definitely looking forward to that too. All right, let's talk about your performance at CBGB's on December 9th of 2005. That had to have been a really cool experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was our first time playing there.
That was the experience of a lifetime, man. That's one of those bucket list things you gotta check off as a band.
Right.
During that time, if you're trying to be an up and coming band at that time, CBGB's got to be the place for you to go and at least get that one show in there. We were lucky enough to play twice.
Twice. That's really cool.
Yeah. What was the second one, Ramon?
It was the following January of the next year.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. We didn't get the recording off that one. Right?
No, not that time. Not that time. But the first time, we had a lot of people come out, and we headlined. So yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, that's really cool.
We worked our asses off to make sure we were tight for that show, because we wanted to make sure that it was flawless, and it just did. Everything just came out. It just was perfect, and we were so happy with it. So happy with the way that happened.
It shows in the recording, from
absolutely. Yep.
I'm just mad that we didn't have any video.
That would have been cool too.
Oh,
that's
man.
such a legendary place too. All the legendary bands that have played at that venue.
Such a shame that place closed down the way it did.
They basically forced them out. That's what they did.
Yeah.
Raising their rent. Yeah, they forced them out because they kept raising the rent on them.
That's bullshit, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, I can imagine you guys were probably pretty nervous going into that show too. It being CBGB's.
A little bit.
Yeah. I was nervous. I mean, it's like, it's an iconic place. We all took a trip to the back and saw the famous bathroom. Where all the shenanigans we happened in the bathroom. We went over there. But yeah, it was a great time, and the record. As I say, the recording does give it justice to how the way we could say we felt playing, because everything just sounded great. There was no mess ups, no in betweens, no nothing. Everything flowed perfect, and I'm just glad it was recorded. And it would have been nice to see a visual aspect of it, but I'm good with the audio too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. I mean, I can definitely hear it too in the recording. I could just hear the excitement from you guys in that recording, when I listen to it, which is really cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
All right, I guess one last question. I guess this is mainly for Barry, though. What made you want to start doing YouTube? Just out of curiosity?
Oh, damn. Well, when I first did the channel, it was what was it? It was more of like an anti that metal show. Remember that show? That metal show with remember that shit?
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. So now I was so anti that show because I didn't like the fact that it was pretty much one of the only metal shows we had to watch, because Headbangers Ball, I think, was already out of the way at the time. We didn't really have anything metal, so that was like pretty much the only thing we had. And so what I didn't like was that what the hell is this fucking guy's name? The freaking the main dude. He has the radio station too.
Oh my god! I should know this name too. Not
Eddie Trunk. So it was him and the two other guys. I forgot the other guy's name, but they're comedians, cool dudes. They're into everything. They're into death metal and everything. They're cool dudes. Because I remember some of those shows, I used to love hearing their take on things. But Eddie Trunk was so anti-death metal. And I used to drive me crazy. It drove me crazy because he would I guess he felt so big that he felt he could just say it. Oh, P, they'll be calling me, telling me, sending me messages about death metal. I'm not gonna put that here on the show, and this, that, and the other. And I said to myself, I didn't understand what was his issue with it. And the other two guys were into like Amon Amarth. They were into like Obituary and things like that. But they wouldn't dare talk about it because Eddie Trunk is like the head dog, So that used to like, I was like, yo, you know what? And then I just started I did like a little thing. So, I basically talked about that. I was anti that metal show. So I created that Goat metal show. That was my anti-metal. Yeah, that was it. And I think I did like 2 small little videos. Then I like left it alone for a while. I did some little on and offs, not even related. I did some little videos with my daughter where she was sing dubbing over some Deicide songs, stuff like that. You can actually see it. It's hilarious. And then the pandemic hit. And when the pandemic hit, we started getting more. Everybody was pretty much all over YouTube. It became a thing where you just had to go on YouTube, see people's stuff. And then I said, you know what? Let me start doing my own little thing. I started doing like some stuff in my car. I did some little things here and there. And then slowly but surely, it was picking up small steam. And then all of a sudden, when I started doing more stuff, that's when Rich, the silent producer, came in. Rich called me and was like, yo, Barry, you want me to go and put some stuff together for you? And this, that, and the other. Send me, because he'd be, whatever live shows he had, he would send me little clips. We would put them in, hook it up. It started picking up more and more traction. So Rich started getting better with his stuff. Then we just started doing our stuff. And then when I got injured recently, which was already a year ago, June 30th was when I got injured. But right before that, Mordred Red was the one who pretty much, I guess, he saw some of my stuff. So he sent me a message and he was saying how he enjoyed the channel. He gave me a nice little shout out on one of his episodes. So then when that happened, I started getting some traffic because, if Mordred Red shouts you out, you're going to get some traffic. People want to come. And I got some traffic from him and then eventually started picking up steam to other people. And now it's, we're like, what is it? I think we're about 80 subs away from 1K, where which I never thought I would even be at that level. I was always like at 100 subs at some point just for a while because I wasn't really doing nothing. And then when I started taking it a little bit more seriously, seeing it build up, it's been good. So it was a lot of fun. It's been great. There's been a lot of great people. Met, you've been. I appreciate you giving me my shout outs and stuff. I thank you very much for that. For the bands, talking about the band. And I think that's what it's about. I think it's a shame if we had this, maybe, I think about this now, like we've had this in the 90s. Who knows, right?
Oh, absolutely. We'd be probably megastars by now if YouTube was around back then.
Yeah, man. Get it. Because, the way things now to do recordings, too. To make recordings is much easier now than it used to be. So, absolutely. So, but that was when I did that, when I started the channel, that was basically it. It was an anti-that metal show. That was the point of when I first started the channel, because I couldn't stand that guy, Eddie Trunk. I couldn't stand him. I still can't stand him.
I can't stand him at all, man. I'm with you.
He's such a fucking, he feels like his shit don't stink.
Yeah, he's like a know-it-all, and I can't stand people like that,
Yeah, just because, because you got your foot in that door where you get all these high-profile people. That doesn't make you a fucking a person that knows everything. Right. Just makes you lucky.
When people have a platform to express their opinion, they think that their opinion is fact itself. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is a problem. I agree.
Bring back Ricky Rackman.
You know what? Yeah, man, bring back Ricky, man. Shit, at least Ricky started going with the times, man. He went with the times, man. You know, he was into his hair metal. Then he started getting a little bit more hard. He was into the Pantera. He was starting to get more hardcore. Yo, man, bring back Ricky, man. I talk about that. Yeah, bring back that. Bring back the old style Headbangers Ball, man. That was something at least we used to have, man. And I think there's a channel here. I gotta look for it. Maybe I'll send it to you, Ben. You might have seen it. There's a guy who actually puts out a Headbangers Ball series on his YouTube channel where he just basically plays like, I guess, different styles of music, but it's all in the Headbangers Ball videos, which is really cool. And he does the commercials and everything. Really cool.
Oh shit! Is the YouTuber old head?
I don't know. I mean, damn, I got it. I did subscribe to his channel. I'll look for it because I haven't been seeing anything up recently through the algorithm. Okay. So, but I'll find it. I'll find it. It's not that hard because it says Headbang. You'll just put like you type up Headbangers Ball. You'll definitely have like maybe 2 hours. He'll have like 2 hours worth of shit of just videos of certain genres and through Headbangers Ball, which was really. I saw a sarcophagus video on there. That was cool.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah. But me out. I was like, oh shit, they play sarcophagus. I said, when the hell did the Headbangers Ball play sarcophagus? They probably did suck it out. It's 2 o'clock in the morning shows.
Yeah, doing this YouTube thing, it's cool because you get to meet a bunch of different metalheads out there and people that are in bands too, which is cool. And sometimes you're idols, like Vincent Crowley. That's really cool.
Yeah, man. I didn't meet him through YouTube. I met Alex Marquez, which was the drummer from he played with Malevolent Creation and Solstice. Yeah, I became friends with him on Facebook. That's how me and him, we became buddies on Facebook. And I got to meet him when he came with one of his bands in New York. He invited me down to the show. We met and we became good friends. I got to go visit him in Arizona back in 2018. I haven't spoken to him recently in a while. I know he was going through some stuff in Florida, so I'm hoping he's all right. I haven't spoken to him a bit. But he's he's a legendary drummer, so it was fun to say that I got my friend is Alex Marquez.
Absolutely. That's really cool.
Yeah. And Ben, and Ben, your freaking guitar playing, man. I just saw that last video you did, man. Really cool shit, man.
Oh, thank you. That's actually an old one I wrote almost 20 years ago. I'm actually working on recording stuff now. It's been a pretty slow process. I'd like to get something out by the end of the year if I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you doing it on your own, or you got a whole band?
Well, for now, I'm doing it on my own. I've been doing it on my own since like 2019. Oh, okay. And it was around 2020 I started recording just a bunch of instrumental tracks. I mean, I have them up on my YouTube channel. Some of my tracks I recorded.
What do you use? Use a drum machine or a drum program?
Drum machine, drum programming, pretty much. That's what I use. And my recording technique's definitely cheap because I'm only using my iPad to record on. But it works.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because I mean, I see you, Paul from Kai Band, got Trevor Shredbeard. You got this other guy too. He's been he just popped into our community. His name is Dinkins. I don't know if you've seen him. He plays death metal. He's got the big long mustache and he plays some good death metal.
I'm gonna have to look at another name. Yeah,
his name is Dinkins. And then you got another one. You got the Indian Riff Master. He's been popping up on the algorithm left and right. Yeah, it's pretty funny. And you got him, and then you got Dennis from Denmark, who has the Music Studio Underground. He's the one that does he has his own little podcast. He plays music and stuff, but he does like some where he shows some riffs and stuff like that. It's good. It's good to see all you guys doing your stuff, man. And Ramon even putting out some stuff there too. I've been encouraging him. A lot more, Ramon. We want more.
Yeah.
More.
I actually have a couple of videos I gotta put up.
And the original Nuclear Assault guitars too, Mike. I always
Mike
said that's
Bogus.
Yeah,
How can I forget Mike, man? Mike is the the grand of them all, man. He's the head of the Mad Axemen. My man Mike, man, he's doing his thing, man. He's great. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
You know, I still can't believe that man is 62 years old.
You don't look 62, man.
No, I can't believe. Yeah, I can't believe he's, you know, from the way he's playing, and he gives you that youthful energy, man. It's awesome.
He's cool, man.
I hope I could be that energetic at 62.
I was just gonna say that.
I'm hoping, man.
Yeah, Mike is a great dude, man. He's a great dude.
Yeah, he's really cool. It's kind of amazing. I got a comment from him. I mean, he does comment on my videos from time to time, but the first time I saw Mike Bagus, and he said he was the original Nuclear Assault guitarist, I'm like, am I reading this right? Because stuff like that kind of shocks you, you know?
Yeah, he sent me the original demo recordings, and the way it sounds, it's well, of course, you know, it's all, you know, I think they did it off an 8-track recording and stuff, but it still had a really good sound from the way they did it, and I think I tell Mike, I said, Mike, I think you should have, if you would have been there, but you know, he had his little issues and stuff like that, and he had to couldn't stay with him. I think he had a baby, he had to go to work, so you know, when life hits you, it hits you.
That's very true, man. That's very true. Yeah, man. A lot of cool people in this. There's definitely a lot of cool people in this community. Like Mordred Red, that dude's fucking awesome. That's the next one I'd like to get for an interview.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm sure if you let him know, I'm sure he'd do it. You know, I mean, he's mentioned your channel a couple of times too. I mean, that's how I found out about your channel was through him.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I found out about your channel through him. I'm like,
there you go. Everything goes round and round.
Absolutely, man. It's a pretty cool community we have here on YouTube, I must say. You know.
Yeah, man, it is. I mean, you know, look, when we have our stuff, and you know, I think that's just because, you know, we all have our own different supporters, you know, from each of our channels. But you know, as long as we all show respect to each other, and you know, look, I might have stuff that maybe some of your subs might not be too much into. That's fine. You know, and my subs might not be into some of your stuff, but as long as there's a respect factor involved where they can't go and attack a channel, I mean, because to me that's just childish to be doing that stuff. You know.
I agree. I've been a victim of this shit too. I've been attacked by some people in the past. It's like, at first, you know, it used to piss me off, but after a while, you just get over it. And you realize these people are just childish. You know. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no point of even. I mean, you know, you can engage with them. I mean, you know, because sometimes, because look, you know what's the thing too? As much as it bothers sometimes when you see comments, you engage with them. All it's doing is filling up your comments, and you know, when you put up comments and stuff like that, it still help. It does still help out your videos and your channels because there's interaction. Yeah. YouTube still wants interactions, whether it be negative or positive. They see interactions. They see that yeah, that's how they. Sometimes that's how they go and they throw you in the algorithm, because if they see interactions in the comments for one of your videos, they're gonna say, "Oh, there must be a hot topic." Boom, your video gets thrown into the algorithm. Now it becomes a thing. That's what it's all about. YouTube's all that algorithm, man. They want to, you know, trying to make that money.
Get those pennies.
Absolutely, man. Well, man, thanks for coming on, guys. I really appreciate this. This was a lot of fun doing this interview. Definitely welcome back anytime.
Definitely. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, man. Just say, anytime, man. Anytime you let us know, and you know, we're hoping that you know, things just keep going on the up for you, man. Just keep playing, bro. Keep playing. That's some good stuff you got there, man. Definitely.
Thank you. I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, bro. Right,
man. I was gonna make one mention of the we're playing our first show back in July 20th in Yonkers at Barney McNabb's. So the first show back since 2007.
What day is that on exactly?
Saturday.
It's a Saturday.
I mean, I'm not too far from New York. Maybe I could try to make it.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
I mean, it'd be awesome, man. It'd be definitely, if you could make it out, man, that'd be great. It's a nice little spot too, man. Barney McNabb's is a nice little spot, man. You'll enjoy it there. It's a nice little place.
Right. And that's the one question I forgot to ask too when it's to come back so well. Now I know.
There you go. Yeah. It's there, July 20th, man.
And
July
knowing is
20th.
half the battle.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun, guys. So yeah, check out Goatamentise, subscribe to that Goat Metal show, and keep it fucking metal and keep on banging those damn heads. All right, I am out. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yep. Take it easy, brothers.